Hey guys. So this is the first live stream we're doing on the channel. Basically going to be interviewing Josh and Alex. Josh is INTJ, double feminine NITE, blast, play, consume, sleep. And Alex is double feminine, play, consume, sleep, blast. So how long have you guys been together for?
What's up, guys? We've been together like a year and a half. Yeah.
Year and a half now.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. Let me see. I think everything's set. Yeah, so I guess we could just jump in. Josh, do you have any thoughts before we get started into the questions and stuff?
Nope, you can fire away, my dude.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we're just going to get right in the meat of it. And through this interview, we're just going to be asking some kind of deeper questions, kind of digging into the relationship, and just see how much they're able to open up and share different things that is good or bad regarding their compatibility and stuff, and how it's related type. So the first question is, okay, Alex. Oh yeah, good call. Alex, what would you say annoys you about Josh? If you be as honest as you can.
Yeah, we'll just start there.
Just start right
Yeah,
off that.
we can start. We can ease into it if you guys want to start with another one.
Like, what do you hate about Josh?
That's the first question on here. So.
No, that's cool.
That's funny. I don't know. I would say probably neither one of us are very good at emotions. And like explaining how we feel about things in me more so in a calm way, and then that gets his emotions going. So yeah, that's the hardest part. So maybe, I mean, it goes for both of us, but if we were just better at expressing our emotions in a calmer way.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely my least favorite thing, I think.
Yeah, Josh is pretty much the same for you, or?
No, I would say when we do have a disagreement or a fight, she just gnawing forever to like if I'm calm and I'm just like, oh, okay, I get that. She's like, but do you get it? Poking. Tell me you get it. I don't think you get it. And then just like trying to create an emotional response on me, I think. And then eventually I give and I'm like, fine, you want to freaking go? Let's go. but no, like that's probably like one of the main things is just when she's like, because we both have a tendency to want to solve things right in the moment, but I know that it doesn't work that way when we're highly emotional. So
and I can't leave it.
Yeah. And so I want to go at it too, but I just know it's not logically the right
thing. Because you guys are both like low in sleep, right? So it's almost like you kind of want to maybe engage in that in the moment and not wait until later. Because it seems like with some people. What's that? Go ahead.
I hate coming back to it. It's not something I don't want to like go through all my emotions and get through it and then have to go through it all again because we have to talk about it later.
Yeah, right.
That's super interesting. Because like some other people, right, they would be like, okay, I'm going to wait until later to resolve this. Just give me time. But you guys both are like, let's engage it right now. But you're highly emotionalist. It gets really hard to kind of resolve things in a way.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a trap. Like we're seeing the patterns like over and over. Like it's a trap. Like we can't fix it in the moment. We just can't. I can't think clearly, and so it's better to wait.
Yeah, whenever we're able to wait, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and we're like work through it real quick.
Yeah, it helps her being so logical because we can logically come to understandings.
Sometimes.
Like,
yeah, and did you say before that you guys wrote some on the wall that you guys review to help remind you of doing something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have Josh and Alex traps on the wall. So on the left side is my traps, on the right side is her traps. So like it's like using our feeling over our thinking, or using our not caring about there's everybody. We just both have our own unique traps that we try to. Once we are fighting, we can look at the board and be like, oh, okay, that is what you're doing right there. It's objective.
Like you can't lie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. To bring that greater awareness.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So the next question is, when are you the most attracted or least attracted to your partner? And Josh, we go ahead and start with you.
I think I'm most attracted to her when I see her heart open up a little bit, and when I see her in other maybe social situations at times. But yeah, probably when I see her heart open up and her being really pure and vulnerable. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Klaus, real quick, he asked if Alex is OP typed, and yes, they're both OP typed by David Shannon.
Yeah.
So okay, Alex. So what would you say for Josh? When you're most attracted and least attracted to him?
I'm most attracted when he's like his like true self. It's like I guess opposite of what he was saying when we're like alone, and he's like just like who he like really is, I guess, without like any like masks trying to be something for somebody, because he can like really open up and like be who he really is, and like nerdy.
Just like like an NT nerd.
He's like he's super nerdy and it's super cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it's less of the social, but more or less when he's at home, just being himself. Because sometimes to fit in with different crowds, we act different ways, right? That's what you like most about him.
Exactly, and he's like,
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
But Josh, you like it when she's kind of out and you see her in different ways with different people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think unconsciously one thing I've always been attracted to her is just how good she is socially. And I've always been really highly social, but like to see her being like probably better than me socially in ways, I really like that for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm also attracted to that as well. So
okay, yeah,
that's very attracted to that.
For those that don't know, Austin and I are the exact same type too, like exact same 512 type. So
yeah, so there's gonna be
always curious to what you're attracted to, Austin, in ways too.
Yeah, how's correlated type for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh god, we're just gonna jump into it. So last play, whatever. Like here it is. Okay.
No blast.
Missing blast here.
Okay, so this question is, I'll start with Alex. What would you rate your partner on a scale from 1 to 10 on physical attractiveness?
10. I'm super attracted to him. I think he's like the best looking man in the world.
Oh, dang.
I do. But it's also because I think the more that we get like close emotionally and like I get more attracted to him as time goes on. So
emotionally and stuff. Okay. Josh, what would you say to that question?
Yeah.
No, honestly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Honestly, I hate to kind of jock her thing, but like there's no one I'm more attracted to in the world. I mean, celebrities and whoever. She's the most attractive girl to me. And I think that like the connection and like, how close me and her are is like definitely like made it more intense. But what's weird is, okay, this is going to sound insane. It's going to sound nuts. But like, so
I'm like, I have no idea what he's gonna say.
Well, no, like I remember, like I've always been like somewhat attracted to girls that kind of had her kind of look. I have no idea how to explain it, the sensory. Okay, just purely intuition. But I remember like being when I was younger, having a dream about a girl that I think looked like her.
Wow, so weird. No way.
Yeah. No, I know that sounds kind of like funny, but like. She's like kind of like my dream girl, honestly. Yeah, she's dope.
Wow. So did you ever have like posters or different like images of girls growing up to like, that you are attracted to? Did you ever do that? Like celebrities or something?
A little bit, probably. Yeah, I remember my mom and brother made fun of me for having a poster of a girl, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. No, totally. Alex, did you have anyone like posters or anything of like guys that you?
Not really. I had posters of horses.
I guess I look like a horse.
That's awesome. Okay, so it sounds like you guys both say that your attraction for each other really grown over time. Kind of, there's a physical attractiveness there, obviously in the beginning, but then it just kind of grows as you get to know the person, huh?
Yeah, and as I get older, I would say it's less about it becomes more about the person than the physical. Like kind of like how girls think, I think. So it's like
Yeah,
looks do matter, but like man, like you're not hanging out with looks all day, like for real. Like you're not connecting in your heart with looks. Like it's about the person, and like that really increases her attraction to me. Even though I think she's like insanely like beautiful, but yeah.
yeah, totally. That's awesome. Okay, so what would you guys say for that question? What would you rate your partner on a scale from 1 to 10, just personality? I mean, it's separated from physical attractiveness, but if you guys have any comments on that, and Josh, you go ahead and go first.
Yeah, I think that was the number one thing that caught me with her was I loved her personality. It's very similar to mine, very lighthearted, fun, energetic, which you would think I don't need more energy around me since we're such high extroverts, but like but I loved like just everything about her, the way she thinks, just how cool she is. She's fun, she's not serious. We can joke around and we can go out and have fun, we can watch TV and have fun, we can do literally anything and have fun. So I love her personality, so I'd definitely say a 10.
Yeah, I have a quick question off of that. Would you say that you feel like that you kind of teach her different things, and that's a part of your guys' attraction, is that you teach her these different things and she really takes it in and actually implements them, and you get to see that change and you guys bond off over that a little bit?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I would say definitely, since she's like high in consume and I'm high in blast and she's missing blast, that is like something that really helps our dynamic because she can listen to me just blast all day. I talk so much. But
Yeah.
you know, because I'm trying to process so much of this consume, you know, this inner world. And so, dude, I think that that's a really big one because she seems very genuinely interested in the things my nerdy things I'm trying to process. So, and I have all these like boards and dry erase boards and stuff up like a crazy, like mad scientist. And I'm just like, here, look at this. And what do you think about this? And then so,
Yeah.
she seems to like it, I think, but
I do.
yeah.
That's really cool. So it's really in the spur of the moment, maybe the high play energy is just you guys go at it as far as having those conversations in the spur of the moment, not waiting on things. And just Josh can be on a roll and just go and go and go, like on and on and on. And Alex, you're just taking it in the moment, on and on and on and on. So it's just,
Yeah.
it's so stimulating for both of you guys based on your guys' animal stat, probably.
Yes, right. Yeah, with both of us being savior play, that really so we play and then I blast and then she consumes, like it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never really burn out. We can and we'll just talk for like hours. Like we'll just sit and talk for like 6 hours at a time all the time.
Yeah. And so Josh, would you say that if you were to look at, say, the animal stack, does Alex have, you think, kind of the best animal stack for you, honestly? Just with her layout and your layout, if you were to look at the code and your past girls that you talked to and been with and stuff?
Yeah, I would say there's if I try to think of like pros and cons, like I would say the pro is like the missing blast with my lead blast. Like that really helps because there's not room for two blasters and like not for me. I don't want to date a high blaster. Like it's not a lead blast. That would be nuts. That would be too much. We're fighting over airtime. But I would say, the challenge, which you could, I think the stack is as good as it can be because I was gonna say the challenge is like the low sleep, right? But hers is still double activated, you know, or I mean, it's her hobby, you know, and it's still she processes probably a bit more than me, which does help. But the scary thing is I don't know what debt is racking up in the background with the deeming feeling with both of us. And then with the low sleep in both of us. So it's like, what's sneaking up that me and her aren't seeing every day? That's what I get worried about.
Totally makes sense. Okay. Alex, what do you think in regards to the question? Rating Josh on a scale of 1 to 10 on personality, what would you give him and why?
Yeah. I would definitely say probably a 10 again. It was kind of like what he said. Like when we first started dating, I would get like 2 hours of sleep before a 10-hour shift at work. Because we would literally stay up till like 4 a.m. talking every single night that I would be there.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
I fell in love with his personality for sure. And like I said, ever since I started getting to know him, my attraction to him physically grew too.
Yeah.
The talking and just we hammered through a lot of personal stuff real quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And so you guys both, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you guys both feel like going into the more personal stuff early on was not too much of an issue for you? Because I know that for some people, it's like, let's ease into a relationship. Let's get to that more deeper, more personal stuff a little later. But you guys both kind of engaged in that early on type of thing?
Yeah, I think we're both on the same wavelength as far as like just being really open, kind of letting everything out there, like not really holding our cards really to our chest very much. We're just kind of like open books, I'd say. So I see that in her too. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Okay. All right. The next question is, how would you rate your sex life on a scale of 1 to 10?
We don't do that.
You don't do that? Okay.
No.
Just on to the next one.
No, you can start with it.
I mean, I think I have a great sex life. It's really important for us.
Yeah.
It helps us connect. Like if we're feeling disconnected, it'll
Yeah.
help us connect again. It's just a really important part of our relationship, and I think we keep it pretty
spicy.
Sum it up. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah. I guess 1 to 10 scale. I would hate to just freaking keep saying 10.
I know, right?
But like, that's one thing that is like always been great with us. So that's like an area we don't have to ever stress about or freaking worry about. But like, we'll notice like if we're like, because we're both missing sleep, so we'll be unconscious and like we'll be like, oh, has it been a couple of days?
Yeah.
And then like we might feel like a little bit of disconnect, but then it does help like reconnect like a bit more, I'd say. So yeah, go sex.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what are your guys' love languages? And Alex, you go ahead and go first, like your top 2, if you know.
Yeah. I've been going back and forth with it actually. Just the past couple of weeks I've been thinking, but I don't know really, I guess, what the definition of it is. But I think I would say words of affirmation and touch, but not words of affirmation in the fact of like, you're awesome. Like that actually makes me really uncomfortable. Words of affirmation is in like our relationship, like where we're going, how we're doing, if we're happy, those things I need to know.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Josh, what do you think?
For me, it's I don't. Me and Prasavi were talking about this a couple of days ago, actually. So I think that with the words of affirmation, it may be possibly validation in the way of like if I'm helping somebody with something and if that's considered in the words of affirmation world, maybe. But I would say my top 2 for sure should be quality time and then touch. So I touch people, I touch everyone. So I'm just like a touchy person.
If you meet him, he'll touch you.
Yeah, I will touch you. I don't care who you are. I'll touch you a lot. Like, and but yeah, for sure. Quality time for sure, because I feel like if you don't want to, this is so subjective. So not anyone, but it's like if you don't want to spend all your time with someone, then how are you ever going to get married? How are you going to start a life with them? Like,
yeah,
I like to spend a lot of time with someone that I'm really interested in. But that's why I want them to be lighthearted and fun and just really have fun in life, because you get one shot at this thing, dude. Like we get one life, so like why spend it? Freaking, I'm blasting.
Yeah, just teaching a lesson.
Teaching a blaster lesson.
Yeah, I would say quality time for me as well. That's interesting. But touch, not as much. And so we're the same. So it's interesting how we're different in that.
Well, and one quick thing that maybe we'd ask this later, but like one thing that I'm really attracted to her, I think people are attracted to is like, we're both glass lizards. So we're naturally decently maybe balanced with our functions in some way.
Double
So
activate on the fourth function, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So us being both class lizards, she's naturally pretty balanced, and that really, really, really helps because she's never going too far on the observation. She's never going too far on the people stuff. It's not too far. Like, yes, there's freakouts and all that. We both do, but it's still relatively balanced, which helps when you're around someone all the time. So you don't have to go through a weird rabbit hole of trying to get them to see what feels so real to them, if that makes sense. So that's just my observation. But I think that we're all attracted to another blaster lesson. But I think that most people are attracted to pretty decently balanced people because it's like if stuff hits the fan, then it's like, you know, that like that person has access to all four functions so they can maybe get the help out of it. So it's a little bit more safety thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to kind of balance things out and work things through. Yeah, on their own type of thing. That makes sense. Okay, so who would you say is like the most emotionally sober in arguments? Like when you guys get into arguments?
Yeah. Not me. Not me.
Not so much.
I think it's her.
For sure not.
If we're talking, I know we're talking a lot of OP talk, but like I think that it's her double activation on her F.
Yeah.
So I think she's like a lot more hyper aware of her emotional states than me. And a lot more attached to him, and both of them being masculine, because both of us have this double masculine inner world, but both of her inner world functions are masculine, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one's double activated. So it's like the triple inner world coming at you. And it's just like, geez.
I wouldn't want to be on the other end of it.
But she's not like, it's not like she's like turns into Venom and, you know, starts. Yeah.
Now, do you feel? Oh, what was that, Alex?
I just get emotional.
Yeah, totally. Like it feels a little more like attack and defense, right, Alex?
For sure.
That's what it is.
I'm always on defense. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Right.
No.
Right.
I'm like, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. And I'm going to tell you why I didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give you the sensory reason, the logic. It's like, this is not accurately right. And it's like, oh my God. But like I think that's with us being double deciders. We don't take it as like me and like you, Austin, maybe like we won't take it as personal. And that's the thing I'm learning a lot with her is like when I'm giving her feedback, she really takes it personally naturally. It's where her brain goes first. So I got to be really careful to kind of like try to like ease that in more because I can't be as direct with the truth, you know, as like I would talking to you, Austin, or something.
Yeah. So you guys really do think that as far as receiving that feedback, well, actually, Alex, so if you're giving feedback to Josh, do you feel like you're really kind of you ease into it a little more naturally because you understand how it affects you sometimes? It feels too direct?
Maybe. I try to be nice about the way I bring things up, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Am I?
I think so. Yeah, I think she does actually. Which, you know, I don't really feel like I need that much, but it's still nice no matter who you are, probably to have a little bit more ease and, you know, that's something that I'm trying to work on.
So you guys maybe think that that's tied to the single observer, single decider thing between you guys?
Yeah, because she'll have a defensive mechanism go up and then her brain goes into survival, like fight or flight. Yeah. And so now she's not really hearing, she's just trying to survive. Like when she's just defending to survive. And then it's like, it's a losing battle for the guys on that one. Yeah. Losing battle for the boys.
My internet's kind of okay, but also I think maybe Alex, since you're low in blast, sometimes you feel maybe a little stuck when it comes to blast, and sometimes maybe you feel stuck as far as communicating your point.
I won't say things that I want to because I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so in an argument, it's like Josh has these weapons, these swords and things, and it's just like he's wielded, right? And you're feeling like you're not fully wielded to fight that. Or just defend yourself, I guess.
Right? Kind of. Once I get emotional, though, you can't stop me. I'm going to be heard.
Yeah.
She gets very masculine in those times.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, what do I do? Like fight with more masculine? Like, you know, it's like, I'm learning to learn how to play the dance with her, and she's learned how to play dance with me. So
yeah, that's great. Now, in regards to your guys' functions, Alex is single activated TE at the top. Josh, you're double activated TE second.
yeah.
When you guys are, say, in an argument or talking and stuff, do you guys see a difference in your guys' use? They're both feminine. They're both feminine TE. What does that look like? How is that different between both of you guys?
Oh man, yeah. So I feel subjectively, Josh, I feel like I'm so much more more logic than her. Like, oh my gosh, like so, like we'll like so like she'll because her I think her double activated F makes her emotion, so she'll be speaking emotionally and not logically, and I'm pure speaking like mostly logical. So it's like I'm like, hey, like to me it's like I feel like simple logic, but then her emotion gets in the way, and then it's like and dude, and I can be off like totally. Like I'm not saying that like I'm like always right, but like I totally noticed that I will respect logic. If from a subjective point of view, that I could be wrong. It seems like I respect logic so much more in arguments than she does, and we don't have the language because we're both so like low on our F, I would say. So we're not realizing that like I'm starting to realize what she's really trying to say is respect my emotions. Yeah. So that's what I'm like, that's like been a huge like, oh, that's what she's saying. It's not going to be a logic war. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but I totally notice it. I feel like I'm coming from a lot more logic.
That's so interesting. So Josh, when you argue,
yeah.
What'd you say, Alex? Sorry.
I just want my emotions heard.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, my emotions, I don't really care. I'm like, you don't have to validate my emotions. Can we just freaking get to the logical point?
So what do you guys think that is? I mean, maybe Alex potentially being FI fourth, right? You're going to have more freak out energy around maybe FI and wanting to make sure that that's actually in the, there, right? You're not sure if, hey, is this other person paying attention to my FI? Is my FI being heard, like you said? And Josh wouldn't care maybe as much with it being third, where it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about it. It's just there. But what do you guys think in that regard, like with the FI third versus fourth?
Well, I think that like technically with the activations, my FI goes down a slot. So it's going to be my smallest function, and hers goes up with her double activation. So I think that like she respects her FI. She's at least for sure more acutely aware of her FI than me. I would say. But what do you think, babe?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I'm very aware of how I feel. And like when I get emotions, I'm like, hey, and I'm like trying to tell him. And he's like, no, you don't have reason to. I'm like, yeah, but I still feel like it.
Like, well, I don't know how to fix it.
And then I'm like, I don't want you to fix it. I just literally want to tell you how I feel.
Yeah, which I think all of us thinkers and probably feelers too, like we realize that later in life, you start to realize, oh, people don't want their emotions fixed. Like, stop trying to fix their problem or whatever. They just want to express them. So it's like this urge to like, I just want to make you happy and make you better. I don't want to see you sad and suffer. But I do have on my board written, get cozy watching people suffer as a daily focus, because that's where I notice a lot of my pain comes from. And I bring them pain too.
Yeah, trying to force your helping nature onto them, right? If they don't want that. That makes sense. Now, you mentioned as far as being a thinker and literally just not trying to fix someone else's emotions, like Alex in this case, right? Alex, do you feel the same for Josh in regards to emotions and like trying to fix him when he's maybe going through some stuff? How do you feel in that regard?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely take it personal to like try to make him happy if he's sad.
Do you try to fix his emotions?
I don't know if I try to fix his emotions though. No, I don't think I do.
Yeah, not too much. I think about it. No, she kind of lets me be, because like I release a lot of like my frustration emotions, which, younger I used to just suppress and then have a big tidal wave blow up. But now that I kind of let that slow drip go, she kind of just lets me be, stay on my way, because I can get to them fast that way. It's like I feel like when you're ignoring your emotions and push them away, they stay forever. But when you just completely like zone in on it and let it go and let it have its air, for me at least, I get through them fast. And then I think that she notices that like, hey, give them like 10 minutes and it'll be good. And I think that she thinks it's crazy because we can go from like a really intense fight and then 5 minutes later I'm like, I love you, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like,
and she's holding on with masculine might. She's just like,
I don't feel right yet.
Yeah, right. But
wow. So Josh, you're able to kind of move ahead or move along quicker than maybe Alex in a heated discussion. And that's a pretty consistent thing.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah. I can, but I had to kind of learn that because I'm masculine feeling too. I would hold on to it for so long, and I realized how much pain it would cause me because I keep my values in order on my board in my room. So I'm like, my highest value is to be happy and enjoy life, like period, right? And I'm like, this is conflicting with that value to hold on to this anger and frustration, even though it's what the truth is or what's right that I feel obligated to as a thinker. But I watch feminine feelers and I just mimic them. I see how they can just kind of go, and I watch the dogs. I learn a lot from watching our dogs. I watch them a lot because our dogs, like, you'll see them like getting into it with each other, like really like try to rip each other's heads off. And then literally 5 seconds later, they'll go cuddle with each other and it'll be all good. And, you know, Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins and all them talk about emotions really only last like, you give just like 90 seconds or something. After that, you have to keep thinking thoughts to keep it alive. So I use that strategy, since I'm such a nerd, to kind of let go of my emotions, and it really does help. I meditate a lot, so I'll just do that in those moments. Like after it all goes, I express my emotion. Like a couple minutes later, I'll go to my breath. As soon as thoughts come in, I focus on my breath. As soon as thoughts come in, I keep focused on my breath, and it just melts away. And but I don't suppress anymore. That's super important for me.
Me too.
Yeah. Alex, do you have a kind of similar strategy as Josh, or some different things that you do that have been helpful for you?
I mean, I don't think I like little by little let it fly, just because I'm not comfortable like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if something's bothering me, I'll let it be known, but it has to be like bothering me. I won't suppress though, because I had a lot of problems. I mean, it always creeps up on you and then it's way worse. You have to actually deal with it. So being uncomfortable and like saying how I feel is better than it being forced upon you. But yeah, no, I don't usually like, if like little things are irritating me, I won't. But lately I have been. I've just been like, hey, I'm just like in an irritated mood. Just like, sorry, I just am.
Yeah.
We paid for it dude, we paid for it so many times with the suppression of emotions. Like we paid for it enough where we both promised and agreed, like, no more of that freaking like
really good.
Yeah. And it seems so like obvious, I'm sure, to every other type. But, you know, like for us, it's like it's helped. It's been like a big help for us. It's like we talk about everything, no matter what, like no matter if it's going to start a short-term fight for long-term happiness together.
You know, it's super interesting regarding that suppression thing that you're kind of talking about, and the suppression of the negative, right? And would you guys kind of assess that maybe being low in FI or something leads to the suppression of the negative stuff? Or what are your thoughts? And maybe both being double feminine or something? Like, what do you guys think is regards to that suppression, always trying to be positive type of things? Yeah.
Like where it comes from?
Yeah. Where do you think it kind of comes from?
Well, because we don't want to deal with emotions, right? So it's like if we can like it's hurting yourself in the short term well, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's making yourself happy in the short term to pay for it in the long term. So it's like, especially for me, I think being my type, where it's like chaos and emotions are my demons. And so it feels like it's coming unexpectedly. I don't want to deal with it now. I just want to enjoy what I was just enjoying. Because I would say, 70% of my day, I'm like really kind of blissfully happy. But then 20%, I'll be like pretty like, I'll be a little, I don't know, just not as happy. But then when that comes in, when I'm having a blissfully happy time, I really don't want to deal with it, But so I think that's what it is for my wiring. But what do you think, babes? For yours?
I mean, I don't know.
No, it's probably similar. It's just the demon emotion. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like I don't like saying it makes me uncomfortable to say when I'm super happy too. But it's just obviously the negative ones because I'm like, I don't want to start a fight, and then a fight's gonna be like
Yeah, like you feel
I
like
hate fighting. I hate it.
Me too. Because I think like we feel like we're not in control of that function, right? So it's like the emotions, like can we reel it in? Can we keep it in a nice, respectable
Controlled
box,
way.
right? Yeah,
That's the way
me.
you're thinking of
Yeah,
it.
that's
You know,
probably me.
Alex.
Yeah, that's probably me. But it's like I don't feel like sometimes I fear that it can go too far and we can fight too much, or like that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So we'd rather not deal with it at times. But we agreed, and man, we've been reaping the benefits of that one of not.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to emotions, though, Josh, you talk about like maybe emotions kind of slowing you down a little bit, like you just want to keep on moving, move ahead type of stuff, and maybe that's attributed to the high blast play energy and like seeing the future, wanting to get to that end goal or end destination, not wanting to be slowed down by other things. But Alex, like, how would you like? What does that look like for you in regards to emotions? Because like in Josh's case, it's like slowing him down from reaching goals, maybe. But what do you think it is for you?
If I don't get it out, I'll just sit and fester on it inside. So it's just not really a choice. I don't really care if it's hindering my goals or if it's pushing me back, because I'm not even going to get there if I don't get my emotions out. Because I will sit in my head and I will just worry and make myself sick and freak out. And
she starts throwing up.
Not really.
Oh, really?
Like, no.
Oh, okay.
No, but
she's like, everything's okay.
I make myself crazy in my head, though. So I have to. It's not really a choice.
Okay. So there's a difference there, right? And Alex, you talk about as far as it pestering you and kind of something you need to let out for your own self, right? And your own mental health and stuff. But Josh, you're more maybe focused on the end goal, end destination. Like it's slowing me down from having fun in reality and doing these things. With Alex, it feels more very personal in a sense, like maybe single decidery. And for you, maybe it's a little more single observery in that way.
Dude, we totally noticed that. Like the more we go, like we noticed like that's a big thing is like I don't naturally understand how single deciders think because things aren't personal to me.
Yeah.
So it's like when we do like have disagreements, like she'll make people the story. So it's like it's about her. I'm like, it's not about you. I just don't. It's about the communication. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the communication. And, and it's hard for her brain to wrap around.
I still can't understand that. I'm like, but you're saying I'm doing these things, isn't it?
Yes.
I caused the fight.
Yes.
I did a thing that caused a fight. It's about me.
Totally.
That's a big thing for us.
So maybe not jump into hard conclusions, but like with single deciders being a little more stuck with people, it's like harder to move on in regards to like heated kind of arguments.
Oh, that would make sense why she hangs on to it more. Yeah.
Because it's tied to you as a person, not necessarily, these different things.
Right.
Okay, so Ruslan asked, who is INTJ? Okay, so Josh is the INTJ, and Alex is the ENTJ. Alex, if there's a way to like post somewhere, I don't know, but Alex is TESE.
You can
do you know where to do it?
Yeah.
Do you have access? I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, I do. So just write it in the post section, Austin, if you can.
The post section?
Yeah, just write on where we're looking there.
Do I need to go on the page, I guess?
On StreamYard. So like I just wrote TESE on here, and then you can just put show, and then everybody should be able to see it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Alex is this, and Josh is NIT. Okay. So,
full file type.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and ask the next question if you want.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you guys have any comments around like who's playing the IJ role and the EP role in the relationship? Who's the controller, the gatherer, and does that change in different environments? Is it like one will be more controlling in certain environments, others not? What do you guys have in regards to that?
He's the controller in all environments.
Oh, in all environments.
Yeah, I'm the IJ.
Definitely the gatherer.
And you guys feel like that's most fitting for you guys both? Like,
I want my man to lead me.
I think we like it that way. It really works for us because we kind of know our our roles, like where we fit best for. We kind of, I think, because we're logical, we kind of think of it as like running a ship. You know, it's like who's going to be the best for this and who's the best for this. And she really helps with the control and chaos a lot. Oh my gosh, that's so helpful. But then I worry that I'm getting weaker with the control and chaos because she helps a lot with it. But if seeing her stay so calm, I'm just like, oh, okay, she's just so calm. It's not that big of a deal. Like that helps so freaking much. Like when it comes to like just things, oh my gosh, we're starting to notice it a lot.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it helps a lot. She's like, why are you freaking out? Like I went down that Byron Katie rabbit hole of just insane depression. Like life is all fake. It's not real.
Byron Katie is like screwed you up so much.
Yeah, oh, it charged the heck out of me, dude. Yeah.
It was not a good time.
That's hilarious. Yeah, because she's a single decider, so it's like different for her maybe. But
who the F is Alex, the man or woman? What do you mean, Ruslan? Sound kind of disrespectful.
Alex can go both ways, guy or girl, but yeah, Alex is a girl. Yeah.
Oh, I see, because her name. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I was just joking.
But I'm super interested in this in regards to you guys both being double feminine, right? Like as far as maybe the controlling and gathering piece, I don't know, like how do you guys see the double feminine playing out a role? Like who you know, if one is always moving, the other one's always moving, how does that work?
I think it's an advantage. Really, in my perspective, there can be things going on in the background where I'm not seeing what's tallying up, but like I think that us being both double feminine, we're able to move with and for each other, and so we can like really like always take a step back and see this person's perspective and kind of move with each other. So I see it as we don't ever. There's always at the end of the day a grounding, and I think that's where me as the IJ will help just ground like the what we need. Like, okay, we need to go here. We need to make this decision. That's not a big problem for such a controlling nerd like me. So
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like that's some degree of like hindrance or something that you guys would wish that there's a little more masculine external energy for either end? Not all.
I think we have a really nice balance for what we would want.
I do too.
It's a really good balance. Like we both have a masculine inner worlds, but because I'll get like really masculine on at times. But, vice versa. Yeah, but I think that it's a nice dynamic for us. Yeah.
So in general, though, I mean, you guys both being double feminine, Josh, like, would you say you take more of the masculine role in general in a relationship? I mean, just being a guy and stuff, but do you ever take the masculine role, Alex? And never?
No, I've always known that I want like a man to lead me though, and like be the head of my household. So it's, I don't know, not all women are like that, but I do. That's how I've always wanted my relationship to be.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's a dynamic we naturally agree on, which just makes life a lot easier. I've always taken the masculine role in my relationships. It just feels the right for me. Yeah. And I don't know if that's unconsciously my brain trying to pull out that, more because it's my inner world wanting to show. I don't really know, but I've never been in a relationship where the girl was the masculine role.
Yeah, and do you feel like for both of you guys that what you want in a relationship is kind of a reflection of what you liked and what you didn't like growing up with your parents, like seeing the roles that they played and how that influenced you and affected you? How do you guys see that playing out?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. You want to go first, baby?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely played out. Like, I guess I grew up in the country, so it's kind of, the man leads the household, and that's just kind of how it is. So it's just kind of what I've always pictured my life being. So, I definitely think it probably had an impact, because if I was raised in the city and a whole different family, maybe that wouldn't be an important value. Because I have friends that's not like, they're like, whoa, stepping back feminism. And I'm like, no, I just want my man to lead me. Like, I'm sorry.
But do you feel like growing up though, your dad was like that in the household?
Mhm.
Like he was definitely very strongly like that? Is he kind of like a reflection of Josh in certain ways?
They're a lot alike.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
What would you say is kind of like the difference, some of the main differences between Josh and your dad?
Open-mindedness. My dad's not very open-minded.
Because her dad, we type him for you guys watching. I type him as a IP, TISI. So he has his ways, and I type him as a double masculine. So
yeah.
Okay. What were your thoughts, Josh, in regards to the question?
That's great, man, because I was trying to think, well, I only grew up with both my parents for the first like 9 years. So it's a little hard to, it's a little harder because then my dad left and, we didn't talk to him again until we were like 20, so I don't know, something like that, just till we were older. But I remember my mom kind of being the really aggressor. I think my mom is a TEEJ. And I think she's masculine with her TE. So she was like kind of the aggressor a lot. And my dad would just kind of give up and be like, I'm not winning this war, and just like kind of like shut up. But not in like a submissive way, just in a just whatever way. So I think that what's weird is I think that because we're all kind of attracted to our parent, not our, you know what I mean by our parents.
Yeah.
Like our parents.
And what's crazy is I always was saying like, no offense, mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry. But I was always like, I don't want to date a girl like my mom. But what's crazy is all the things I love about my mom's personality, I realized is she has.
Oh,
so it's
really?
Like a high play, right? Like I like the gatheriness, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. But then the things that I don't like about my mom, I ran from. I was like, I don't want to, I don't want to be with someone who wants to fight all the time, that's nagging me, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, what are the positive aspects? I'm kind of curious. If you
What's up, Katie? We're just saying hi to Katie. She just wrote. She's defined.
Oh.
What's up, Katie? I love Katie. That's my homies. I would say the things that I see correlation between her and her mom is the EJ. The sense to want to always look out and help, the high play, and then I do like a gatherer. I do like gathering because I don't need more control. I think I got it.
Yeah, for sure. Got it.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, cool. All right. So, I love this question. Where do you guys feel like your guys' fights start from? Like, what stems them? What triggers them?
My freakouts usually, like when I'm like something's happening, I'm like, I can't see how my way out of here. Let's freak out.
Yeah, that's actually.
And then he gets mad because he's like, no, there's a way right here, and he's like giving me all the ways, and I'm like, nope, that won't work, and that won't work, and that won't work.
Dude, so you know what's so interesting about her to me watching? Because she's a glass lizard, technically her intuition is her weakest function. So, and you know how high of a function that is for us, right?
Yeah.
And so she'll freak out about things in the future from just not connecting dots. And then when she does, it's masculine. So it's like aggressively doomsday. So it's just like we're all screwed and I'm positive.
Just give up now.
Yeah. And it's so freaking funny. So like, and then I sit back and I'm like so relaxed, like I'm just like, hey, it's totally good. Like chill. So then though, eventually her panic, because I think my demon emotion, when she's panicking, freaking out, I want to help. I want to fix things. So then I end up jumping in, not realizing that now I'm in the pool of poo with her, and then I get mad at her for it because it's her fault now because I got to blame her, right? And so, yeah, that kind of cycle happens quite a bit. I would say my bandwidth now is a lot longer. It takes her a lot longer to drag me in the pool.
It is a lot longer.
Okay.
I'm trying not to pester him as much.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Josh even giving you that certainty of the future, right? Helping you think that through. It's really not enough. It's not really what you want in that moment, right? Or
Right.
Yeah.
Like I've realized like it's a losing battle. Like I gotta wait until her brain chemistry like calms down, you know.
yeah, just really high sleep-ish, right? Just like
Yeah.
and waiting it out a little more. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so what areas do you guys feel like you bond in? Josh, you go ahead if you have any thoughts around that.
I think we bonded on, so we naturally think a lot of like, you know, what's weird, guys, if for those that know or watching that know objective personality code, we're actually really similar in our typing because I'm more of an EJ than she is technically, which is weird. So I have a lot of EJ issues. So I can connect to her EJ-ness, and she's kind of like an EP. Like, so and I'm kind of like an EP with my double activation and my SE. So it's like I'm gathering like crazy all the time. Like, so I think that we're so similar. We naturally think the same way. I just feel like we're both EJs, to be honest. Like, it really feels like, yeah. So I would say that we bond mostly off just the what we want out of life. We're both laid back. We both want to just really just enjoy life, and we don't take things that serious. Yeah, we want to be happy. We have fun. She has the most hilarious laugh I've ever heard.
I get it.
Yeah,
it.
This is so funny. And like, yeah, so that yeah, we just and then we enjoy good conversations with each other.
Yeah, we can talk to each other. That's a huge thing. I'm like, and then it's like been 6 hours, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, we'll be up till 4 in the morning.
It's like it's getting light in the outside.
Yeah, that happens a lot. We'll be like, it's like 7 in the morning. We've just been talking, you know, forever. So
that's great. Just real quick, Julia asked. So Julia, Josh is NITE, and Alex is TESE. Play, consume, sleep, blast. So it's where did you have this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Blast, play, consume, sleep. Play, consume, sleep, blast. Yeah, that's our animals.
Yeah, this one right here. This is their animals.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys bond quite a bit around those different things. Now, Josh, what do you think are Alex's triggers?
Just the people stuff. So if I come here, guys, sit.
Our
dogs.
Sorry.
I know you guys can hear the TikTok. Stay. Like that's all we hear all day in all these wood floors.
Totally.
I should probably know that better, huh? Like I think that like it's a lot of the oh man, sorry guys.
Lack of control.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. They're trying to play. Come on, stop. Go. Sorry, guys. Okay, so like controlling chaos and so anyways, yeah, I think a lot of her triggers would probably be around just really the fears of what can happen in the future, and then making things personal when they're not personal. So like feedback. Yeah. Those are the 2 times I see her kind of get a little riled up.
Yeah.
That's a great way to narrow that down. Alex, what do you think? As far as what triggers Josh?
When I'm like just like in La La Land, like no, we're doomed. There's nothing we can do to fix it. And then when I'm defensive, that's when it's like really, really bad because I get really defensive.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of when you're getting emotional in those moments and feeling stuck.
Yeah. I don't suck. See, this is why I don't suck.
Yeah, like that way of thinking.
Yeah.
Because like I never think of myself as like, oh, I suck. Like my brain doesn't go there. I'm just trying to fix the problem in the outer world more.
Yeah.
So I will get stuck more, in observations. But so we're finally like seeing it. It takes so long to like see, even though you know your type. Like it's for me, it's like here to like finally start seeing these things and with each other too. It's been taking time.
Like I just told him last night, I just hit to the point where I was like, I am actually believing that when I'm freaking out, that it's not like I shouldn't go there. And I don't really have a reason to. I'm actually believing it. I knew logically, but,
Yes, right.
but you have to actually buy into it. And I'm like, I don't know if it's happened enough times where I'm like, this is literally insane.
Yes, right.
But
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember, Alex, you mentioned before in the past that sometimes it takes you several times of like failing or making a mistake until you finally learn something. And I remember Shannon kind of mentioning something around that for herself, being basically the same type as you, but Shannon has masculine DE and you have feminine DE. And Josh, you would say that's not the case for you at all. That is just you see Alex maybe making some of those same mistakes. So you probably want to help her through some of those things. Do you kind of see that pattern kind of playing out in that way?
Yeah, I see it in her a lot, but I also see it in me kind of. And so sometimes intentionally, I know that there's I'm making a wrong decision, but I keep doing it because I want to feel the pain enough to care.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm trying to feel like enough pain to stop the behavior sometimes. So I'll just keep doing it. So I do notice that in me too, but I'll notice that in her a lot. Where, you know, we'll have the same conversation 1 million times. And then eventually, you know, she'll might catch on, but it could be a lot of times. I don't think I'll need that many times. I'll just need like 4 or 5. She'll need like 30, 40.
Yeah. But what is that, do you think, in relation to the functions and stuff? What
I'm thinking it's more with her because she's still more gathery. So she has to push the boundaries of the chaos, I think, until she reels it in. That's just my guess. Where I'm still having like a little bit of that box, the guardrails, so it still won't go as far. And I'll be like, so I think my box is maybe a little bit shorter. If that's just my intuitive guess, and that sounds so abstract, I know, but connect those dots. Good luck.
That's all good. It's a good try. Yeah. So Sarah asked how you guys been together. How was it? A year and a half or something?
We've been together about 1.5 years. Yeah, we actually met pretty much on my birthday, January 16th or 17th, the day after my birthday, 17th. Last year. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. And then Rosalind asked, how does the T function manifest in each one of you guys?
Bad. So good, really good, because we both respect the same thing. We have the spectrum of logic, so we can understand each other's logic pretty easily, and we can come to what we both agree is fair pretty quickly. Yeah, really quickly, and we pretty much always agree on it, as long as the emotions drop down. But here's where it's not so good.
Yeah.
In our fights, I'm realizing now that we both are TE robots. So we're both completely ignoring our own emotion and each other's emotion, and especially me. And so we'll just keep using logic to try to fix a problem when it can't be fixed with logic. And so it's like, no, this is logically right. No, well, this was logically right. And this is fair. And no, this is fair. And we just go in this hamster wheel forever. And we're realizing that that's a trap. It doesn't work. Like, we have to start focusing on emotions to get some of these things solved. That's been a really weird one that we're like finally seeing after like a lot of freaking like disagreements. Really
just like, no, I did not say that. I said this.
Yeah, she's using the sensory. So that's what she does, like using the sensory, and then I'm using the freaking like, I don't know, I guess the abstract, even though I can't really see it, but yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's super interesting how you guys can kind of spiral around those things and not even really pinch. And it's like you really have to shift gears in that moment in order to kind of, you know, adjust yourself and pivot to pay attention to all different aspects of reality, not just one of them, right?
That's right. Yeah, right. So it's good that we're so alike, but it also hurts because we have some of the same blind spots. But it's so good because we connect unbelievably well. So like we're really, really close, but having the same blind spots is tough. One of us has to freaking try to look above and be like, okay, what's going on here? You know? So just be more cognizant of that and hope things don't sneak up on us without us seeing.
You know, and one of the really big things around personality is being around different people in which kind of influence you to be a certain character, right? They kind of influence you to be a certain way. And so with you guys, how do you feel that, like, say in your case, Alex, how do you feel that Josh brings out a different character within you? And what does that look like when you're around him and stuff?
Yeah, no, he makes me just like less reaction, less he makes me react less in emotional situations and like sit down and think like, okay, is this actually like yesterday we got a flat tire. Man, I wanted to freak out. Like for like 5 hours after the fact even. And I was just like, no. And every time I told him, I was like, I want to forget about the tire, but I know
Yeah.
it's not. And before him, I would probably still be upset about the tires right now.
Yeah,
Before him, honestly,
Really?
a flat tire.
dude, it's so weird with her being technically a double observer because she really has observer issues all the time. Like she seems like just a single observer all the time, more than a single decider, way more often. But I think the difference is, me and Vasavi were talking about this. Like, I think the difference is like she won't get stuck there forever. But when it comes to the decider issues, she will actually be stuck there forever. So
Yeah.
and it feels way more real, I think, to decider issues. Like she cares more, even though she's panicking a lot more about the observer stuff. It's really interesting. Mm-hmm. That's why being a glass lizard is weird, because you have a lot of areas. Like, it's not like you have one or two functions you got to narrow down in and like then you're up and running. It's like you have a lot of different areas that you're seeing your imbalances all at once, and so you're trying to get better at this and better at this and better at this. It's a different game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Josh, how do you feel that Alex kind of brings out a different character within yourself? Like, how does she influence you to be kind of in different ways? Like, how's that look?
I think that like one thing that really attracted me to her, like I was saying earlier, is her high play. So I always actually unconsciously wanted somebody who was a little bit higher than me in play, even though I don't know the math, maybe I'm higher, whatever, but it feels like even though she's energy dumb, like she's still really playful. And I like that to keep me too far out of my abstract nerdy land, because I'm always, I mean, if you see me, I'm learning, I'm trying to figure something out, I'm trying to grow. Like, I'm always on that path, and it does help to kind of do things where it's not like invested in my future per se, it's just invested in the moment, right? And so it's a bit more balanced.
That is awesome. So you guys, Alex, like, he's really invested in the future, you're a little more invested like in the moment, and you feel like that creates good balance between you guys, and just seeing that in different ways.
Always making sure the happiness is like, I'm trying to make us happy right now, he's trying to make sure we're happy in the long term, whether it's because like I don't even want to have unhappy times. Like, that's hard for me. I'm like, I just don't want to. But
totally. Okay. So okay, did we have a question down here? Let's see. Have you met homosexuals?
Serious question. Why does it matter if we met him? I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
Sure. I think there's homosexual types, right?
Right.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so how do you guys? Did I already ask this question? How do you guys think a typology has affected your relationship? Any positively impacted? Like, how have you guys been positively impacted by it? Yeah.
How does objective personality? Oh, typology.
Yeah, typology.
Yeah. In insane ways, man.
I don't know if we'd still be, honestly, because we can see where each other's coming from. I mean, I love him and I want to be with him forever, but I don't know if we would have had the bandwidth or like the tools to.
We just wouldn't know what's happening.
Yeah, we'd just be confused.
We'd be confused. Yeah, we'd be like, where is this coming from? What's happening? A lot. Yeah, but I would say it's everything, because now we can see objectively what's happening. It's not like just us. It's just brain wiring, chemistry, functions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so just being a little more understanding of the other side, and maybe just slowing down where you naturally speed up, or vice versa. Because you guys are opposites a different way. You're the OI, she's the OE.
Yeah.
She's an EJ, you're an IJ. high blast, low blast, so kind of has that chemistry and balance. What would you guys say in regards to like the similarities and differences percentage wise, right? Like, because they talk about you want to have maybe a lot of differences, maybe some similarities, but what do you guys think as far as that scale and the percentages on those things, as far as a really healthy and strong relationship? What does that look like?
I think that we're probably 70% similar, 30% different. I think we fall into that ratio where we are like really good friends. Like, so I think for us, because we don't, it's not like we're every relationship has its tiffs. We don't fight that often. It's not like a daily or weekly thing. We have them, but for the most part, we're so similar where it makes it so fun because we're just like friends hanging out. Like literally, it just feels like I'm hanging out with my friend every day.
That's great.
Yeah. So I think being similar for me is way more healthy, level, relaxed, balanced than like when we both dated opposites prior to us.
Did not work.
And that is just fiery. It's just too much, man. It's very
high highs with very low lows.
Yeah, extremely low lows and high highs, but it's just it's intense and this feels so smooth and nice and smooth sailing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so.
But
yeah, do you guys
bored if you were just exactly like me?
Yeah, right.
Give me something a little different here.
Like Brad and Angelina being the exact same type, like. That would be the weirdest thing. I would not like that at all.
Yeah.
I don't want my exact. I don't want to date me.
Yeah, right? I'm like, I need something different.
Yeah, a little bit. And we're different in the best area, in my opinion, which is the double observing, double deciding. That's like the number one area where the differences, I think, count. So I'll take it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, makes sense. And so do you guys have any thoughts in regards to Enneagram and your guys' similarities and differences with that? Alex, do you have any thoughts with that?
I mean, I don't know a ton about the Enneagram. I know like our types on the Enneagram. I would say they ring true to us in ways, but there's also ways that it just doesn't go deep enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say that parts of it pertain to us in a relationship for sure.
Yeah, I think like the main thing is technically, if we do the Enneagram, not objectively, but technically, I'm a type 7, she's a type 6.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to see the world through this extremely optimistic lens, almost maybe it could possibly be a detriment in ways. She's going to see it through a pessimistic lens. I don't know if that's the right word, but more of a scared to of fearful, what could be fearful lens in those ways, right? So, and I'm always like, everything's going to be all good. So that's where we will kind of, have different viewpoints when it comes to Enneagram. I see that quite a bit. And that causes a little bit of, because I'm trying to force a subjective reality that's not true. It's like, not everything's peaches. And she's trying to force a subjective reality that's not true, so.
It's really, yes, that's really a kind of reflection of you with the NI and constantly simulating and thinking through that future and seeing where that future is heading, a positive potential outlook of that future. And with her being the demon NI, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's going to come out. Like, I don't know. I can't figure it out. Like, what does that look like?
Think about it. We'll deal with it when it comes.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Okay. So if you could add one attribute or quality to your spouse, what would it be? Josh, do you have any thoughts?
She wants me to have a big booty.
Yeah.
Like, I would just add a bubble butt. Dude, I would say if I can. Actually, you go first.
No.
All right.
No, I know what mine is.
Oh, go ahead.
Just if we had more understanding, just because understanding is hard, especially when emotions are flying.
Yeah.
That would be really the only thing I could change.
Where typology helps so much, Because
I feel misunderstood a lot, and that's like the worst feeling.
And I would say a bit less panicky, but which is intuition, right? So just relaxing. Like before you go to a 10, can you go to a 2 and a 3 maybe first? Maybe a 6.
I don't see those
You know?
numbers.
It's just like, choom, I'm freaked out. You know, it's just like, and I was just like, oh boy. So yeah, that
Yeah.
part, yeah.
Yeah. And do you guys both feel misunderstood at times? And Alex mentioned
Yeah.
that. Josh, do you feel it? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Me and Austin talked about that, where that's like a big trigger for us, and maybe for
Yeah.
everyone, and maybe more for thinkers. I don't really know, but feeling like you're trying, especially because it's hard for us to communicate with my missing sleep. You know, I'm blasting, I'm thinking as I go.
Yeah.
And so I can be, and it's abstract. So how confusing is that, right? So I feel bad for her trying to put pieces together of what the F I'm trying to say.
So you're sharing some things that are very highly abstract, and she's more or less like, let's ground it in reality. I don't really understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it's up in
And
the
then
clouds.
we're forcing each other to use our demons, and no one likes that, you know. So
Yeah, and then you maybe feel that maybe Alex slows down things a little bit because she's focusing on maybe the SE, the details a lot. It's like, where's the details? Where's the details? And you're like, yeah,
who cares? It doesn't matter. What's the
it doesn't
point?
matter.
I'm just like, what is the point? Like, we cannot talk for 5 hours about the details and get to the point in about 10 seconds. What's the
My
summary?
God.
You
I
know?
literally just typed someone in the class about a week ago, and she mentioned what is the point in her talks a couple times. So it's so funny that she was NIFI.
Okay,
And
right.
like, so it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, so you guys both feel misunderstood in certain ways. Alex, because he's not maybe fully addressing some of the details that you're bringing up, and Josh, just in regards to maybe how do you feel misunderstood?
With me,
Yeah.
just when I'm trying to, like, she'll take something I say personal. That's the number one thing. So it's like, I'm
Okay,
not
that's what you feel
saying
misunderstood.
suck. I'm saying we can learn to communicate better here. Do you see what I'm saying?
Less personal with your
Yes,
communication.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, totally. Okay. So we covered a lot of ground. If anyone has any extra questions, feel free to share them in the comment section or anything. How long do you guys think?
If you guys, if anybody watching, are you guys in a relationship, and do you guys have your type and your spouse's type, or do you have any idea what you think your spouse is if you have got types? I'd be really curious to like what kind of combinations are out there, because I know like Brian's me and Austin's exact type twin, BRY, that Brian. And his wife is a EJ. She's a TESE EJ too. Is that right, Austin? Oh no, she's TE.
She's TESI.
TSI. Yeah. So very similar to our dynamic though, as far as
both EJs and stuff. And
INTJs with the EJs. You know, it's kind of cool. So I'm curious if there's any other cool combinations and what you guys normally date before that.
Yeah, I actually have another question for you guys. In regards to when you guys were younger, right, and what you looked for in a relationship, how has that changed over time, as far as what you look for and what's what you guys have in your relationship right now?
Well, I think because I'm blast play, I had to trial and error a lot. So I blast played through half of Colorado. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so I think like for me, like, because that's how I unconsciously, that's how I freaking learn, you know, I'm testing,
Tester.
Yeah, tester. But I know that I was unconsciously always had attraction to EPs. Being an IJ would make sense. But the thing that was hard about the EPs is they seemed a little too far out of balance for me with the chaos. So it's just a bit too much. Like they're just going too far off the rails. And so she's really close to an EP, an ESP. But she has the guardrails because she's not an EP, so she doesn't go too far in the chaos, and that's why it's like perfect for what I would want. It's like exactly perfect for what I want, because I do like the ESFPs, but ESFPs can go a bit too far sometimes. So to me, she feels like a balanced ESFP.
That's cool. Alex, what do you think in regards to what you looked for in a relationship initially, early on in your life, and then what you look for or what you have now? How's that different?
Definitely before I would date like chaos people like me, and then I would have to be the controller, and it would just not be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want me controlling things.
Oh my God, we're all doomed.
And then I went on like the opposite end and went to like super selfie controller.
Yeah.
Not good. And then I found Josh.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, I think we've learned to crave more balance. We've seen what the extremes are more like. Yeah, because her last relationship seemed to be like maybe an IP, but like in a very controlling version. So it's just a bit much, where technically me and Austin are the least controlling controllers. So we're like the most gathery controllers, I guess. And it's a bit
It's still extremely
controlled. I was with like an
Oh,
EP.
yeah.
So crazy.
What'd you say?
I said before that I was with like an EP.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone has to play the role of the control. Yeah. And if and I don't know how that go.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, maybe it's one of the last questions, but really I'm super curious in regards to your guys' experience with kind of thinking about feminine sensory and how you guys see that playing a positive or negative role in your life and your guys' relationship, regarding like memory of the past, regarding just yeah.
We're like, what past?
I'm like, wait, what did I say 3 seconds ago?
Both of us
all the time. And then it's like, and then we get pissed off or mad when we're in fights because like you're not listening.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what I said then 1 second ago. Like, I don't remember. And then I'm literally secretly not telling her, but I don't remember either.
So I could have said the dog jumped out the window. He'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine. You're listening that time, but you never listen. That's so funny.
Oh, yeah. But Alex, oh, just real quick, Alex, you do obviously listen to Josh's stuff, and you play consume.
For sure, I do.
I'm sorry?
When I'm in like a heightened emotional state,
yeah, not when our emotions are up.
Repeat back because I'm just like waiting to like say like, okay, how do I defend myself? Let's go.
And those times she's hyper focused on the like emotion or like it's like she's when people are hearing you, they can maybe repeat what you said, but they're not like they're not taking it in, they're not processing it. She's like, you said this. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not listening to me.
I'm like, I have no idea what it means or how it pertains, but this is what you said.
Oh, and you want to know something hilarious? What's funny is like literally like 20 minutes later, then she'll finally say what I said 10 times that she wasn't listening to me. And she'll be like, well, I think what's happening right now is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, really? She's literally picking up on what you're saying, but she's not like connecting it to things.
No, right. Yeah, that's a good point. So eventually that's where it's coming. That makes sense. Yeah. So eventually it connects when I'm like, because I'll be like, you're not listening to me, babe.
I'm like, yes, I am.
And then eventually she says the light bulb moment that I've been saying like 10 times. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I was like, fine, I'll act like I didn't say it,
Yeah. Okay, so it's the whole memory thing. It's a kind of struggle issue. Do you guys see any other things in regards to feminine sensory being a positive or negative thing? Because you guys are both really masculine so you guys are both looking at that future and it's like very concrete. So do you guys have any other thoughts around it?
What's really weird we talk about quite a bit, we've been trying to process is even though she's savior sensory, I feel like, and then I'm an IJ with an IJ box, I feel like I'm aware of so much more sensory than her on the spectrum. So it's like she doesn't know like a lot of basic things that like I would perceive as basic that most people just know, right? And I think that comes maybe because I'm a tribe guy. And so my way of connecting with people is being able to relate to something that is passionate. Like, for example, she's never even seen Game of Thrones. And I'm like, what? You've never seen Game of Thrones?
Never.
Right?
Not even a second.
And unconsciously, probably the reason I saw it is because the whole freaking tribe's talking about it. And then I can know how to connect with people easier, right? So, and I push my F down so much because it's my smallest function where it's just like, what excites me about gathering the sensory is connecting with people and I'm not checking to think how I feel about it as much. But everything like Chappelle Show or like Scottie Pippen, she don't know who Scottie Pippen is, or like there's so many things, or like the spectrum goes on.
I also attribute that to partly like I grew up very sheltered.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in a real small town on the Eastern Plains, like 2,000 people in the whole town. So I grew up very sheltered. Like I didn't have, I don't know, like we just didn't grow up the same. Like we just didn't grow up with the same, like I didn't know things. Like it was just different.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think that's definitely part of it. But like, it will seem like I'll consume a much wider, broader range.
For sure.
Right. And it's like, so I've like I want to know how to be a good cook, or I want to know how to garden. And I've had a lot of like dope fish tanks, or like I've been like, I just have this whole spectrum of all these. Anything excites me, like anything new, right? And that's what's super weird, because she's savior sensory and I'm not, which is interesting. But I think I just have a really broad IJ box. Doesn't mean I go necessarily like a deep sea diver more than a long distance. I'm more like a long distance swimmer.
Yeah.
That's a weird analogy, but
so
yeah, and that's interesting to us. We've been talking about that a lot.
So would you say that maybe you're more willing to sacrifice your FI for that TE connection, and she's less willing to sacrifice that?
Great point. I think so, because she's acutely aware of what she values a lot more than me naturally. So she'll, like when she says it's interesting, she'll be like, no, I don't like that. And I'll just be like, I wouldn't have known that, especially at her age, you know? So totally. I think that's it. I think it's not more of I wouldn't say it's a good or a bad thing, but not necessarily a good thing. It's just, I think I disrespect my FI so much growing up, where I just, you know, it's just because my overall goal is to connect with people in the tribe.
Yeah. Let's see. How sure are you about being? So both Josh and Alex were professionally typed by Dave and Shannon. And Dave and Shannon, you know, if you don't know them, you could look at objectivepersonality.com. They're pretty good at this stuff. So
it's objectively typed, so it's not someone's opinion. Anyone should be able to see it if they do the math and the coins. But the reason why you're probably having a hard time seeing it is because we're both glass lizards. So a glass lizard, what that is in nature is a snake, or it's a lizard that looks identical to a snake. Right. And so that's why I'm going to look a lot like an EJ or an EP. She's going to look like a lot like an EP. Because
each function has different activations. And so, you know, an INTJ can look different if their last function is doubly activated versus their first function be doubly activated. It turns into different, you know, recurring life issues and stuff like that. Okay, guys. Well, you know, we've been at this for about an hour and 22 minutes. Is there any questions you think that I should have asked that I haven't asked yet, or any other areas you guys want to explore a little more, or what do you think?
What else, babe? She's such missing glass, so she's always like, I like to not talk.
I'm like, you can decide.
You do it.
You choose.
No, I think that for people that are single, I think it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you want like a fiery, like exciting, if you need some more drama in your life, if you want to go for the opposites. But for us, we found that like the similarities is it's such a nice, calm, healthy relationship, which we really, really find a lot of peace in. But we've also been through the ringer in our old relationship, so we appreciate it a bit more.
Yeah. What's the question here? You guys do come across as
J and EP.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when we'll look at kind of our lives.
Like our life decisions leading up to this.
Yeah, right. I've been a lot like an EJ. Like a lot like an EJ. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been a musician. I am an entrepreneur, yes. But like, and I've done like a lot of like the things that you see typical EJs do. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been a bodybuilder, which for some reason I see a lot of EJs bodybuilding. I think it's a way to have a higher sense of self.
Probably.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, cool.
Right. And she feels to me like a freaking EP because I'm having to control it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is probably my last question, but
Sure.
I really am curious about this one. So just as far as your guys' different psychological parts, right? We have all these different psychological parts, but there's like 13 of them. And so how do you guys feel in regards to the importance of the different psychological parts? Like which one would you say with your relational dynamics kind of like the most important to kind of like maybe the least importance? Like what is your guys' gauge of that?
Psychological parts? Do you mean like human needs, or what do you
Yeah,
mean?
so like, the EJ and IJ, like that's one psychological part. Another one is like, a double, or I mean, feminine, feminine sensory or feminine extroverted decider, or being low in blast versus high in blast of the animals. Like which parts
So
really matter?
is what we find is the makes our
Yes,
relationship the best.
yes,
What
yeah.
we
Which ones? Both
you
being a thinker and
Yeah,
yeah.
great. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I can give you, this is so funny that I would say this being demon value, but I can give you a top 2 or 3. More.
Okay, yeah.
It would be hard for me to go to
Yeah.
just one. But
I mean, I definitely think like the blast consume coin is really important for us. I think it actually, I mean, it sucks that we both have low F, but I think it helps because we can understand where the other one's coming from and we both want a lot of understanding. So,
yeah.
I mean, I see that as good and bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say the biggest, the 2 biggest would definitely be me being lead blast, her being missing blast, and high consume. That helps so much because I can get all this extroverted energy out without her wanting to jump off a bridge because I talk too much.
And I actually enjoy listening to him. I'm like,
yeah, right. Yeah, I think she likes. I think she kind of likes the NT because she'll have a harder time connecting dots. So it's like when I'm nerding out, figuring out things.
Like it. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, see.
Yeah, and I think that I just had it. Demon a century feminine. That's why things like that one's a good one. I really personally really enjoy our high energy levels. Even though I'm info dom, she's energy dom. It helps that we can be high energy together because I can be really high at times.
I agree.
So the high energy level is coming from the high play, maybe, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, her play is really high. It's just once it goes, it goes.
Yeah.
But it has a long wick, so she can hang till like midnight-ish, 2-ish. But then she's tired. Where I'm like just revving up.
Totally. So the first one is the blast and consume coin being opposite. The second one is both being high in play.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's kind of like the third or fourth, if you guys have a third or fourth?
Yeah, no, that's great. I would say the logic is massive. Yeah. Massive.
Both feminine TEs. Yes.
Oh man, that might be the most important because I would be so frustrated if someone was picking, because of my self-growth, by the way. It's not anything with feelers, like they're doing it right. That's fine. But because I haven't developed enough respect for feeling in my personal growth yet, oh my God, would that be frustrating? Because I want what's fair and what's right all the time. I don't care how we animalistically feel that often, right? I know that's not right. Okay, it's subjective. Saying.
Yeah.
That would drive me freaking bananas. Is like if we were fighting over feeling and thinking all the day. I couldn't do that. I don't think that would be really hard. It's fine until like you're in a relationship where it's going to be hard anyway, and you can't come to a resolve. So the good thing is we come to a resolve every single time. Every time. Yeah. It's pretty easy because we think so much alike. We agree. So I think that might actually probably be the most important.
Yeah, because we don't ever leave anything like hanging in the air.
No,
there's not like this big like, oh, if we don't address this,
Yeah,
that's a really good point. No, that's really interesting. With both being TEs, like versus TI or DI or FI, maybe they feel a little more comfortable resolving things kind of on their own time, in their own, in a sense. And with TE and just FE, it's just like feeling more or less you want to have the tribe, other people on board with you and moving ahead, moving forward.
That brings comfort.
Comfort.
And we both see the spectrum of logic. So, and her EJ, she can understand the tribe really well. She's going to have a harder time with the self. So that it's good for our relationship in that way. That's a plus because I'm going to understand the spectrum of logic too. So we can both understand where each other's coming from.
And you guys have that need for connection in that way. Yes. Connecting on the logic being the same, with other people.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
that's great.
Totally.
It's not a want, we need it.
Yes, and we get it together, so we feel
Connected.
very connected. Which is weird. Like me and Austin's relationship is like we don't connect on emotions. We connect on the logic. I think about. I'm like, it's so interesting.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's really weird, but like that's a really big one. And then the last one I would say that's really important would be having the need for the quality time.
Yeah, I agree.
So that helps. Like we both are on the same page with how much we want to be around each other and how much we want our individual times.
And that's a balance between you two, huh?
Yeah, right.
That's great.
Right. Yeah. So that really helps.
I agree.
Okay.
We can hang out all day.
And then really maybe another. Oh, sorry, Alex. What did you say?
I just said we never get sick of each other.
Nope.
Awesome.
See, this girl's my. That's why I like the quarantine.
I know, we're loving it. I'm like,
yeah, we want all the time together, man.
Yeah. And maybe the last part is maybe the IJ and EJ or something like that, right? It's sort of single observer, single decider, or yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So I would say the top two is the TE sharing, and then yes, the single observer, single decider.
Yeah.
That helps a lot because that's our biggest fears in life, or where all our most of our pain is coming from. And when she can help with those observations, I can help with the people stuff.
Yeah.
It really does help a lot.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of fun. Whoops. I don't know how to do this.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Do we have any other questions? No? Okay, cool. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this interview. We'll be doing potentially more relationship interviews like in the future. So if you guys have any other questions or anything that you want to see on future interviews, we'd love to see them and do them.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll get Brian and his wife next. I talked to Brian
yesterday. That'd be really cool.
Because they're a similar dynamic to us. So I'd be stoked to see like
the similarities.
Yeah, I'd be stoked to see if it's like if they're have the same like funny fight problems and stuff like that as us.
Yeah, that'd be super interesting. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a good Saturday. Peace.